right, so now 63, report from Dr. Lisa Morris Hibbler, Chief Community Service Officer, on the progress of the Mayor's Fund for Las Vegas Life, which provides a vehicle for corporate and philanthropic partners to support innovative programs that improve the quality of life for all Las Vegas residents. And so here she is.
Good morning. Well, actually, it's afternoon.
Beautiful.
We have slipped in the afternoon. Good afternoon. Lisa Morris Hibbler, Chief Community Services Officer, City Manager's Office. You know, I stood before you in October. I had real high hopes for 2020, and now we want to throw the book at 2020, but that's okay. Because today I want to provide a recap on the highlights of the Mayor's Fund and the successes that we've had, and then also talk about where we're headed next. As you know, the programs and initiatives in the Mayor's Fund are aligned with the City Council priorities. They leverage community resources, and they produce measurable results. And it also creates an opportunity for public-private partnerships, as well as donations of cash, in-kind, goods, and then services. The Mayor's Fund is guided by a diverse group of community and business leaders who serve as members of the Mayor's Fund Advisory Committee. Many of our advisory committee members have been very instrumental in helping us secure donations. Both they and their companies that they represent have made donations, and many have actively participated in advancing programs and initiatives supported by the fund. And you are aware that the Nevada Community Foundation serves as the fiscal agent, receiving all private donations and then also helping us to facilitate administrative functions related to those donations. Since October 2019, the Mayor's Fund received $1.1 million in cash and $1.3 million in goods and services for a total of $2.4 million in donations. Our total year one and year two to date is $6.9 million. And you see the breakdown there: $2 million cash, $4.9 million in goods and services. And I think it's always important to say that as we get those donations in, that gives our city department stretch and leverage to provide greater programs and services to our community. In the areas of livability, I'm just going to go real quick through some of the work that we've done. The Mayor's Fund helps support youth programs. Last year, it underwrote the fees for 200 youth to participate in basketball, flag football, street hockey, and soccer. We had major public art project in the historic West Las Vegas area that was launched with heavy involvement and inspiration from our advisory committee member, Christina Ellis, along with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, Bowdoin Substation, and significant funding from Life is Beautiful and Amazon. The fund also helped to underwrite the Book Festival, the state's largest literary event that attracts more than 10,000 people every year to Southern Nevada. And then also support from donations from companies like AT&T, where more than 7,000 guests were served at the Courtyard Homeless Resource Center. Thank you again for your continued support. And I just wanted to have a quote from a guest at the Courtyard that said, after receiving services and permanent housing, "Thank you for all of your support and being patient with me. I love working with all of you. Keep up the good work, because people like me need you." And that's exactly why we do what we do. In the areas of innovation, Las Vegas Connected program, funded in part by donors like NS8, a Las Vegas-based cybersecurity firm, helped provide families with internet access and devices preloaded with key resources and educational materials and workforce information. The Mayor's Fund continues to help bridge the digital divide in our community through testing of community-based broadband, a need made more evident in the time of distant learning and remote working. And as part of civic innovation, a significant gift of over $3.8 million in goods and professional services from Cisco, a worldwide leader in IT, networking, and cybersecurity solutions, helped to launch Project Blackjack, an intelligent intersection project that supports the deployment of safety applications for all road users and the future deployment of connected and autonomous vehicles. And then just recently, the Mayor's Fund worked with the Sunrise Children's Foundation, that's one of our pre-K partners, to provide the remaining Samsung tablets with integrated Wi-Fi to help economically disadvantaged families have access within their homes to broadband. In terms of our future, last year, the Strong Future Youth Employment Program trained over 400 youth in job readiness. And then as a result of that, 200 of our youth were placed in jobs in high-demand industries. Several new employer partners, including Whiting Turner and Diamond Resorts, provided comprehensive work experience to help prepare our future workforce. In terms of education, we had donations from community partners such as City National Bank, the Helms Help Foundation, Vegas Golden Knights Foundation, and Zappos for Good helped to underwrite a second Strong Start Go mobile pre-K bus that will be launched in August, ensuring students with the greatest achievement gaps are equipped to enter the school system and ready to learn. We have a multi-year donor, MGM Results International, that underwrote a mid-year school supply drive that provided school supplies and hygiene products to more than 7,000 students at 19 community locations. The Summer Learning Academy for more than 350 students in underperforming schools. And a byproduct of having that Summer Learning Academy was that 50 student teacher fellows received teaching experience and are now able to become fully licensed as teachers in our school district. And lastly, they provided curriculum, funded curriculum in science, technology, engineering, arts, and math for students at SafeKey, Ignite, and Reinvent schools. As the global COVID-19 pandemic started to increase, the Mayor's Fund shifted our focus, and we intensified that focus in mid-March on the community-wide effort to meet our city's most critical needs, and at that time, that was in the homeless community. As many programs supported by the Mayor's Fund were put on pause, the fund made helping the homeless a top priority. And this included seeking both donations of cash and then also essential items to support the frontline personnel, volunteers, and homeless persons at the Cashman ISOQ, Isolation and Quarantine Complex, as well as the courtyard. The Cashman ISOQ was believed to be, or is believed to be, the first field acute observation alternative care site for persons experiencing homeless, and was a partnership with the county, as you well know. And a recent visit by Dr. Marbut, the U.S. Interagency Council on Homeless Executive Director, praised their team, stating that the facility could rival any built by the Army Corps of Engineers. And that was really kudos to your support and kudos to the staff that were out there making that happen. In total, nearly $600,000 in cash and in-kind donations were made to support the ISOQ. So this is a list of donors from the ISOQ. And we started taking patients on April 13th. We served 245 patients. 22 of those were positive, administered 860 COVID tests. And at a time when water and toilet paper were cleaned from the shelves, we could not get those types of supplies. Our community partners stepped up and made that happen by providing blankets, towels, sheets, soap, toothpaste, other hygiene items, pallets of water, PP&E, hot meals, and coffee. And I want to thank all of you for your support, but I also want to thank Councilwoman Fiore and Seaman and Councilman Creer and Knutson for also leveraging your relationships to help us get those necessary items. At that time, I remember us getting a call and not knowing if we were going to have water. We were just cleaned out. In the audience, we have Anthem with us today, and I think we have Lisa Bogart, the president of Anthem Medicaid, and also Olivia Smith, I think she's still with us, and they were also donated medical equipment, and we were appreciative of that. Prior to COVID-19, we were working with AT&T. They were already supportive of the courtyard, had donated in excess of $87,000. And then once COVID started, AT&T continued their support with additional gift of $35,000. And then their employees volunteered to deliver hot meals from McDonald's every day. And it seems like a small token, but it meant a lot to the people that were working there every day, not only just the people we were caring for, but also the staff. So we have a really quick video from Omar with AT&T.
AT&T believes in supporting organizations that make an impact in the communities that we live and work in. The Mayor's Fund is one of those organizations. Through our partnership, AT&T has supported the Courtyard Homeless Resource Center. And most recently, we were happy to step up to support the Cashman Quarantine Complex. Our FirstNet team ensured efficient operations by providing connectivity to that facility. And our AT&T family stepped up and wanted to do more by delivering hot breakfast meals 7 days a week through a partnership with Delivering with Dignity and McDonald's. On behalf of AT&T, thank you, Mayor's Fund, for everything you do. We look forward to our continued partnership.
This is just an example that as much as we appreciate the support, these companies that support us love partnering with the city and making things happen for the community. I really say that the ISOQ is really a citywide effort with the county partners. Everybody that was a part of that deserves huge kudos that we were not only able to provide such services to our vulnerable population, but that we did it in such a safe way that we remain healthy and safe as well. So where do we go from here? Well, the Mayor's Fund stands ready to refocus programs that will help our residents to regain a sense of normalcy and help them to reclaim a quality of life that has been so impacted by the quarantine. We are working with our fund development advisors, our Mayor's Fund Advisory Committee, and our directors to develop strong case plans for the programs and projects that are forthcoming in the Mayor's Fund. As we continue to recover from the significant social and economic impacts of COVID-19, the Mayor's Fund is positioned to reactivate its efforts on the many programs it supports that promote and enhance the quality of life in our city. From youth sports to pre-K learning, public art, continued support of our homeless population, we are ready and here to support initiatives and programs. We've outlined these are some of our current projects that we're working on, but we also have some of our future focus areas as well, including the Courtyard Homeless Resource Center. We're doing a facility naming campaign for those. The respite facility at the Courtyard for seniors and medically fragile. Wardell Strong Start Go, which is our newest new built pre-K center. And then we also want to work on our community's homeless population, continue to support the Courtyard. We're also going to explore ways to expand our cultural arts and to develop and expand our cultural arts endowment fund while developing programs to support local artists via public art programs that promote community healing. And then we are still seeking partnerships with professional sports teams to expand youth sports, ensuring that kids and teens can participate in these programs regardless of their family's social economic status. We will continue to work to help bridge the digital divide, particularly as distance learning is likely to continue, and we will focus on expanding the digital infrastructure in low-income areas to increase access to broadband. We are striving to build stronger communities in neighborhoods and programs that promote not only revitalization, but maximize authentic community engagement. We will continue our focus on early childhood education, school readiness, and out-of-school learning. And as the council finalizes your new city priorities, the Mayor's Fund will be ready to work with city departments to identify and support programs and initiatives that make life better for our residents. So at this time, I'd like to call up Julie Murray with the Moonwich Group. She's an integral part of our advisor to the Mayor's Fund.
This one?
Good afternoon, Mayor and members of the City Council. First, before I share my slide, thank you for your leadership. These are such extraordinary times, and I watch what you all are doing, and I want to express my gratitude as I begin to share a few things. So my slide is about optimism. So Moonridge Group did a survey of hundreds of family foundations and corporate funders throughout the state. And I was expecting to see that a majority would be cutting back their funds or eliminating them altogether. And I was so pleasantly surprised as we worked with Jeremy Aguero and the data started to come in, and we saw that 55% of corporate funders and family foundations in the next year, whether it's fiscal or calendar, plan to keep their budgets the same or increase them. So you can imagine I breathed a sigh of relief that that the things that we saw from the study is that the funders are resilient, they're loyal, they're checking in with their nonprofits, and they're here to stay. So how that interacts with the Mayor's Fund is that our role at Moonridge Group is to not only steward the relationships, first and foremost making sure that the donors feel thanked, appreciated, updated, but then as new developments occur, that they're informed and given an opportunity to come to the table. I know Lisa mentioned Olivia Smith, who's here with Anthem. As one example of what we're going to be doing is we're using summer to thank donors, first and foremost, and then right after the thank you is done, we're going to be working with donors like Anthem, who just 3 or 4 weeks ago declared $50 million in social equity funding across the nation. So we're going to be looking at how the designations in the Mayor's Fund align with social equity funding, and we're going to be very creative with how we continue to bring funding to the Mayor's Fund. So I want to conclude how I started by saying thank you all very much for the great work you're doing and for the opportunity to be a part of the Mayor's Fund team.
It's wonderful news. It really is incredible news in this community to find out that they're able to sustain their contributions and their interest, and it's because really you have been such an inspiration to all of this, and the leadership that Dr. Lisa Morris Hibbler has shown. It's just, you know, it's such a beautiful place to be. It's such a tough time, but to see the heartbeat of our community. We've got such a wonderful, wonderful community that can work together, and that's what we're doing. And you know, there are problems, and we know that, but we grow and learn from them and get better. But bless you, really. Thank you, Julie, and thank you for all that you've done for this community over the years, most especially 3 Square, but in so many other ways. I mean, you are a remarkable woman and leader and a giving soul, and I can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
So with that, Mayor, that concludes our presentation, and we can take any questions that you may have.
We think, yeah, I mean, I think we're just all so grateful and amazed by everything that when we pull together, how unusual a place this is to live. People in other communities have no idea what a united, beautiful community this is.
Absolutely.
So thank you. I mean, thank you, thank you.
Thank
Tough
you.
time, but we will rise above. Thank you.